Just sad that people can have that emotion of just judging people before even speaking to them, before even knowing them.
I think when people judge you, it knocks your confidence, it knocks your self-esteem and that. Only you can make your life and only you can make your future.
I do feel more positive, but obviously being in a hostile situation makes you feel you don't know like which way to go, and
There's two options. You can go forward or backwards. And if you go backwards, you just keep going backwards and you're never going to go forward and you're never going to get to where you want to be.
come into this room on your first 2 days for the inductions, which are usually around about 5:30, and you need to be on time. If you need to make any phone calls, to say the walk-in centre, job centre, the doctors, anything, you can knock on the door and ask if you can use their phone.
Hi, I'm Magda. I've been working at Elizabeth Fry for 9 years. I love this job. Currently, my job title is offender supervisor. If you're coming to approved premises, it's very likely that I'm gonna be your key worker. If not me, it will be my colleague Jan, who is an amazing person. We work very well together. What we do, we deliver the day program at the hostel. We've got group program, and we also have got individual one-to-one key works with your assigned key worker.
Really all there is if you've got key works, you've got to attend them. You sign in and sign out times, you need to make sure you do that. And health and safety, easy to stick to because you already know that. So you'll fly through an induction, it's easy peasy. I am now sitting in the Mains Association room, where you'll probably come in here on your first day after, coming out of prison, you're stressed, come and sit in here. So just hang in there, girls, all be cool.
Please ask your probation officer to allow you to make a phone call and speak to us. I'm always happy to speak to anyone. I will answer any questions you may want to ask with regards to your placement here.
We are in the dining room where we all have our food on a day-to-day basis. We have breakfast, lunch and dinner in here, so we're all sat around this table. We have a rota to decide when people are going to be cooking and cleaning up. It's better everyone takes part in the cooking and cleaning, but some people don't, which is fine. Also, we've got the kitchen over in the corner. This is where we all take turns to cook our meals on a day-to-day basis and do the washing up in these two sinks. Also, obviously, girls will make cup of teas, cup of coffees. Sometimes it gets a little bit difficult because you can have so many girls in the kitchen at one time. Sometimes, there'll be a bit of disagreements, but nothing gets really out of hand here, so it's all cool. So this is the washing room, where you obviously wash your own clothes. You don't have a certain day to do it, so it's not like prison. This is a tumble dryer, but you've got to pay 20p only for every 15 minutes. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then you've got all the brooms and things in the corner because we all have different turns to clean up. And that's it.
We actually don't recall people. That is down to probation.
We are now in the back garden. It's probably my favourite part of the hostel. We're only allowed to smoke outside. It's not like prison. You can't smoke in your rooms. You can't smoke in the building at all. The canopy where obviously if it's raining, you can smoke there. And we've got chickens in the corner, which are lovely. We are now in the wardens, which is the next step from the mains. You can spend up to about 3 months in the mains, but then you eventually come to the wardens. So this is basically where we just relax, chill, watch TV, have a laugh. It's a lot quieter in here because there aren't so many rooms as there are in the mains.
When you come here, I think it's important to remember that it's still part of your sentence. Yes, you're being released from prison, but you're released on license, and obviously you're still gonna have to comply with certain expectations.
This is the meds room, where you will be explained to on your first day here anyway. They also do breathalyzers and drug tests in here. There's also certain medication times.
We've also got a substance misuse workers. Together, I'm sure you will be able to figure out what is the best way forward for you to address those issues.
Just to let everyone know that depending on the reasons for your medication, if they see a sequence appearing with you not turning up on meds on time, you may be issued with a warning. However, if it's painkillers or ibuprofen, it's all okay. A couple of these offices, you can have like a three-way. For example, I think it's the same as in prison. If you have a disagreement with someone, a member of staff will come in and have a talk to you both, and then things get resolved quite easily. We're now in the front garden, which you will come past on your first day anyway to get to main reception. This is again also pretty much like the outside garden, the back garden, where us girls will just chill in the sun. We'll have a couple of barbecues here. We'll have a few picnics. Yeah, it's just nice to come and sit out and actually breathe fresh air. This is the office where all the staff obviously hang out. Here we've got the sign-in book. If you're leaving the premises. You've also got to explain what clothes you're wearing, and just saying the colours, well, they don't like that really, so you've got to explain like black boots or denim jeans, so on and so forth. You've got the sign-in times. This is down to probation because they decide whether you need a sign-on, which could be anything from morning times to late night times. As long as you sign in, you've got to make sure you sign in on the dot. You need to leave your keys behind, because if you lose them, it's a fee of £16.50. We are now in the Annex Lounge, which is the last step, obviously, when you first come in. It could take roughly up to about 3 to 4 months to get to the stage, because this is almost like a dry house, in other words, because you're not really meant to drink if you're here. Like my key worker said, it's very quiet here. There's not as much drama as you do have in the mains or the wardens. So this is also where we have our meditation groups, because quite a few of us have a lot of stress going on in our lives. And for my key worker Magda, when she puts on these it's like tranquil music, but also mind meditation when you've got a person speaking and breathing in and out and to relax. I would say it's very beneficial. At the beginning I thought, it's not really going to help me, but once I started doing it, I was then begging Magda to put another one on and then another one, so it can never really get boring, meditation. It's very, very good, and then for the next week you'll feel refreshed.
And I suspect that you may have done a lot of courses already in prison. Don't worry, that will all be taken into account. After a few weeks of you being here, if you've got myself as a key worker or my colleague Jan, we will look into it and we try to come up with a plan which you personally gonna feel it's beneficial for you, and it's gonna help you then to move on. If you get on with what you need to do and work towards moving on, you're gonna be fine.
So my name's Laura. I arrived here March 2015 after doing 6 months in prison. My time here was what I needed. I think, in hindsight, this was the perfect stepping stone to go on to living the life I'm living now. This is a great place to be. Once you're here, you know that it's your final step. You're nearly at the end. But it's nice. It's nice here. It's cosy. There's only 6 rooms upstairs. While you're here, you have to pay your service charge, which is about £30 a week, which it was when I was here, and also your tumble drying. So you had to budget. You had to. When I was on benefits, I used to know what benefits was going to here and then what was for myself. But also because I was applying for jobs, I had to make sure I was budgeting for travel to get to interviews and things like that. And then also I was able to save, because service charge is so low here that you can save larger amounts. I mean, to come here and not have as much contact with staff, that sort of gives you that preparation. Okay, I can do this and I'm going on to be independent. took me quite a while to get work. I was taken on by a care home. Originally I went in as a HKA, which is basically assisting elderly people with their cleaning, day-to-day tasks. After being there a couple of months, they asked me if I would like to do my duty manager training, and then February this year I was promoted as a duty manager. That's that step, you know, you're here, you move on, you put in what you get out, and the staff here, you know, you give it to them and they'll give equally back. What they can do for you, they will. 6 months might seem like the longest time ever, but in hindsight now, you know, the 6 months here, I mean, it feels like minutes to me now. I met a really good friend here. I knew her briefly from my experience in prison, like we passed, but we became great friends here, and like now we're just, you know, every weekend we're out, we see each other, so it was great, yeah.